and welcome back to the couch. This is Tulasi. If you are new here, this is where we discuss the magic and the mayhem of motherhood. If you have been here before and you are just craving for more, then welcome back. So, when you're watching this, it's probably Happy Tuesday or Happy Wednesday. Because I know for a fact that this is not going to get uploaded on a Sunday as my videos usually are on the couch. And there is a very simple reason for that, and that is going to be the crux of the entire video today. Traveling with kids. So last week I had a few days off, and the off days coincided with my husband's off days, and we decided to plan trips. And I say trips, plural, right? Look at my face. Look at my eyes. Do you see how I am still recovering from those trips? And so I thought it would be fun to share the things that would probably resonate with you as well. The kind of things that you would have to anticipate if you are a new mom. Maybe this would be something that can help you to prepare yourself mentally. When you have children, your traveling revolves around them. First of all, when you have children, your life revolves around them already. It doesn't matter how good of a support system you have, you still will find that your life changes to suit those children. And with every child, there are more and more changes, right? Even a trip to the supermarket can be really tiring because half the time you're trying to carry a toddler that can walk and just refuses to walk, and then you are carrying your own stuff. You're trying to look at the ingredients of whatever it is that you're getting, right? And then your child just runs off to aisle 4 looking for something totally random. And then you have those, well, I don't really have tantrums yet. Hopefully I don't have them at all, but I do have like my toddler telling me, I want this, and she cannot understand no. She can, but she can't like take it. She doesn't take no for an answer. So she asks the same question again and again and again and again and again while I'm trying to get things that I have on my shopping list. And then my husband asks me why I forget things. Because of this lah. Okay, now I'm going to share with you just a few things that happened in this week. I regret completely that I have not taken many videos, or I could do like a vlog style video for you, but let's just go through the things that happened, right? So my husband and I, being the geniuses that we are, we decided to plan a series of trips back to back, because this, it's very rare that we get like off days together and on weekdays as well. So we wanted to make the most out of the situation. And so we did a half-day trip to the beach, and then we had like a day or two of rest, and then we did a full day to the Singapore Zoological Gardens. We went to the zoo, man. And you know what happened when we came back from the zoo? The very next day, we went on a 2-day JB trip. And for those of you who don't know, about JB, so I live in Singapore, and JB is Johor Bahru. It is the closest part of Malaysia to Singapore, where we can literally drive across and just reach JB, right? And so a lot of Singaporeans, we like to go there to do grocery shopping or whatever. A lot of Singaporeans like to go there just to eat, because the food there is, I dare say, better than it is in Singapore. And also the currency exchange, right? It's a lot cheaper. So it makes a lot of sense for us to go there and spend a lot of time. But when you travel with kids, right, a lot of things change. So a simple thing like a road trip could be very detrimental to your mental health. The longest trip I've had with my kids, and without my husband too, was a trip to India. I was there for 10 days. I don't know what I was thinking. I went with my mom, and okay, the plane ride, it was just... I think I would do a separate video. I do have videos of them like crying like crazy, when the the plane was going to land, and then I was told to the kids were sleeping, right? And I was told multiple times by the air stewardesses to get my child to sit up straight. So I had to wake them up, and then they were screaming and screaming and screaming. It was just I have videos of that, so maybe I can make this into a series, because I was also desperately looking for tips online before I flew with my kids. And a lot of the tips that I gathered from the internet, from different blogs and everything, they really helped. So maybe I can do another video on that. I've also been to Korea with both my children, with my husband. So I had a little bit of extra help, I would say. Actually, my husband is not that good of a help. When it comes to like getting the kids to sit, he's great with like entertainment. He's great at playing with them and things like that. But when it comes to settling them and all, I think my mom does it better. But my mom does it in a completely different way. So I think we'll talk about all that in a different video. Let's talk about what happened this week. So I used to be someone who could go on and on in life without much rest. You know that saying, sleep is for the weak? Yeah. Yeah, I used to follow that at some point in time in my life, very long time ago. Um, Now, right, half a day of like being at the beach with the kids and coming back home, I'm just gone. Like mentally not here anymore, that kind of a situation. Not too sure whether it's because of the age or just because, like maybe if I were a younger mother, I would probably have a little bit more energy to, you know do everything and come back home and not be so super tired. But I'm 34, and I'm not the healthiest I've ever been in my life. And one thing that this entire week has taught me and my husband is that we really need to get healthier. Like, we need to get our energies back up. We need to have our stamina, back up to where it should be, or even better for our age. And that's something that we really learned from the trips. So when we went to the beach, right? You know the kind of things that you need to pack for every trip, they vary, correct? So when I had to go to the beach, I had to get sunscreen, I had to pack. I wanted to do a what's in my bag video, but then, like I said, I didn't like do anything in terms of videoing or vlogging during this week. So maybe next time. But you have to pack, you have to make sure you have enough diapers, you have to make sure you have like towels. If I'm going to the swimming pool, I can work with one towel. I can get both the girls to share because we come back home and shower again anyway. But if we're going to the beach, it's a lot further from our house. And so I need to make sure that they're really clean when they get into the car, because I know they will fall asleep in the car. And then there's no way I'm like gonna wake them up and get them to shower back at home again and things like that. So I need to make sure that they are well showered and clean and dry, at the beach itself. And so when I would pack for the beach, I need to get two towels and I need to make sure I have my towel. And the entire house, like my mom packs her own stuff, but she gives them to me so that I put everything in the big bags that I carry. And it's annoying because sometimes I forget to pack things because I'm just walking all over the house, right? I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get the kids ready. And sometimes, like, I do have a helper and I have my mom, but sometimes the kids just want you. And it happened again today when I was going to send my toddler to school, right? And she came up to me and she was like, "Mom, I want you to shower me." And I'm like, "Why?" I need to shower too, and I need to get ready too, and we need to get out of the house by this time. So why don't you go and get auntie to help you? And then she's like, "No, I want," and she was so adamant about it, and I felt really bad, but I had to like literally like push her into the toilet. And then she was like, "Okay, fine." And then she got herself showered, and I was thinking in the shower, like, why would she want me to shower her? And then it made sense because when I was younger, I always wanted my mom to do everything for me. It's not that I can't do it on my own, but it's more like I want you to do it for me. It's like an act of love. you know, those like what, five love languages, the act of service, is that it? That was my expectation from my mom. And so I thought about it while I was showering today, and it made sense that my daughter would want that from me as well. And I felt really bad. And I told her that, you know, the next time I would do it for you. It's just that today, like, we really have to get going. Anyway, point is, when we went to the beach, right? Um, I would always forget things because I'm running around the house doing a lot of things. So if my kids want me to get them ready, and I'm in charge of like the snacks that I'm packing, I'm in charge of the clothes that they wear because I'm quite particular about things like that. I don't want them to just wear anything. I used to have a helper who I felt had a lot more initiative. I'm not complaining about the one that I have now. She's great. It's just that sometimes she waits for us to tell her things. And then I feel like I'd rather do it myself. It's faster, you know. But everything else she does really well. We used to have another helper who had a lot of initiative. So she would do the things first and then she'd come to me and then she'd be like, is it okay? Do you want me to change? Do you know, I packed this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, you made my life a lot more easier. But then again, I would also do like a secondary check. Maybe I don't know, what's that word? I'm controlling. I'm like, I have to be there kind of. I don't know, but that's just me. And the thing is, I still can forget things. So I'm so forgetful. And this forgetfulness, right, it started after my first pregnancy. And it has never left me. I wasn't this forgetful like ever. Okay. And it's really bad. Like sometimes in class when I'm teaching, so I'm a trainer, right? So when I teach in class, um, I can talk about something else and then I come back to the topic at hand and I'm like, why did I even talk about that? And I just lose my train of, like now, right? I'm just digressing so much. Okay, anyway, so I have to make lists to make sure that I don't forget anything. But then after I leave the house, I realize that I forgot to put something important on the list itself. So I did forget, not because I missed out something that was on the list, but because I didn't even put it in the list. If that sounds familiar to you, if you have like a million things that you pack and then you still forget something anyway, if you are someone who overpacks, like you tend to take things that you feel like you would use and then at the end of the day, at the end of the trip, like you don't use it, you know, please let me know in the comment section just so that I would feel like whatever I'm doing is normal. And I'm so sorry because the light keeps changing. um I'm filming in my room, so I have two lights. I have daylight and I have my room light. So you know, I like I said, I really have to get this out by midweek, so I'm trying. All right. So what else happens when you go out with children? Um, the trips that you take, so while traveling to the point of destination, the journey that you take, you need to ensure that they are occupied. And I know there is a whole debate on screen time and things like that. Come on, man. Sometimes you just have to give them the screen. If you are someone who is a strong advocate against screen time, then okay. My kids have learned a lot from screen time. What I give them is supervised screen time, so I know exactly what they are watching. In fact, I watch with them, or I'm listening to what they are watching, and we're always around. They never are alone with their devices. So I don't know if you feel better about that, but for me, this is something that I feel saves me a lot of the times. And also, I feel like they are learning a lot in a good way. Okay, so listen, we need to understand that this generation, they are born into technology. And I was discussing this with my husband the other day, and I feel like if we were to try and raise them the way we were raised, so I don't even know what gen I am. I was born in 1990. So that makes me a millennial, I think, not Gen X, right? So I too many names, too many labels, okay? So being a millennial, I grew up when technology started getting introduced to everyone's homes. So the first mobile phone that I saw was this huge one that only like certain people would have. And then, there were no screens, and then, we lived through the evolution of technology. And these kids, they are born into technology. So it's not exactly fair for us to expect them to grow up the same way we did. And so my idea of screen time is slightly different now that I have, learned about this difference. And for me, I have scheduled screen time and I have supervised screen time. So one of the things that really saves me during journeys is screen time. So I put a movie and I let them watch the movie. Sometimes they're not into the movie, they want songs, they want to dance and things like that. I'm cool with it. My kids love Denigo. This is not like a promotional video or anything for him, but I love Denigo as well. And Denigo is on Spotify. My kids love, my older one, she loves the Trolls movies and she loves the songs in those movies. So you have that on Spotify as well. So sometimes there is no screen time, but you still get entertained with the music that is familiar to them. And then they just pretend and they use their imagination and, you know. So for that to happen, I need to have the energy to play with them. And when I'm really tired, I just give them the screen. It just helps, okay? Even if we were to introduce other forms of entertainment, like I always bring a coloring book and some colored pencils, that works for a while. My kids don't really have a very long attention span, and I think it's okay for their ages. But the problem with not having a very good attention span is that they like what they're doing, but just not there where they're supposed to do it. So their attention moves over to something else, and I don't want my husband to start screaming because they're scribbling. Bleh. And I don't want my husband to start screaming because they're scribbling all over the car and things like that. So, there we need to bring a lot of things to keep changing their means of entertainment, if that makes sense. So, we have coloring books, we have story books that I read to them sometimes. If my mom's sitting at the back, then she reads to them. And we have I don't really carry toys with me because I don't know what you can do with toys. Like you just press a few buttons and, you know, and then you're done playing with them. So I don't know. I'm a huge fan of busy books, and I used to bring them out. But the problem with the busy books that I used to have, they had a lot of pieces. They came out in pieces, and then you have to stick them with the Velcro parts. So the pieces would actually get lost everywhere. And now I am waiting for another busy book to come. This one, the stuff that they do is all in the book itself. That you don't take things apart. So I'm hoping that that would work. Yeah, so these are some of the things that I bring along. And you see, when you pack, you literally have to have an entertainment pack for when you are inside the car or when you are going through the journey to the destination. And then you have all the other things that you pack for the destination. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and we only left the house to go to the zoo at about 9ish because I was just up preparing snacks. I had bread, and I was just like, throughout the entire walk in the zoo, we're going to have a lot of food, and I overpacked. Okay, eventually we didn't finish all the food. Whatever I did have, my kids didn't want. Whatever I didn't have, like I didn't pack ice cream. Why would you pack ice cream, right? I didn't pack ice cream, and they wanted ice cream. It's just so difficult to feel like you're doing a great job when you're a mom, and that really is why the Cashmere couch is here. I just feel like when we confess to one another like this is turning into a confessions couch. When we confess to one another like this, it just makes our life better. I don't know. But you know what? At the end of the day, right, when I look back at the videos and the pictures of my kids' reaction to the animals in the zoo, for instance, Or this beach trip that we took was the first ever time my younger daughter had gone to the beach. So her reaction, you know, the idea, and the waters were really clean too. And her reaction to the whole thing, these things are worth it. At the end of the day, the experiences that you build with them, like my earliest memories of the zoo was with my parents. So that's something that no one can take away from me. And I feel like, you know, experiences are the best gifts you can give your children and for yourself too. Um, so at the end of the day, I think it's not that bad. I would say that the recovery period is just intense. It's so crazy. I was so dumb to have planned back to back trips. One whole day at the zoo, we come back in the evening, we rest, and then we wake up, you know, feed the kids and whatever, and then we go to bed. The next morning, we have to rush to Malaysia. And there was a whole day of walking and shopping. That's what you do in Malaysia. And then we got a homestay. It wasn't a hotel. It was a homestay because, you know, it was just bigger and convenient. And my helper didn't come. So my mom, husband, myself, and the kids. And there was a pool. And we decided to wake up in the morning to go to the pool. And then there was more shopping and walking. And you know, at one point in time, when it was just me in my life, I used to always say going to JB for a massage would be like the best thing, right? You go to JB, everything is cheaper there. You have to get a massage. My husband said the word massage on this trip. And I was like, how do you think we would be able to get a massage in with the kids? And he just shut up after that. Like, I mean, you could still plan. But the idea of a massage for me is like I get to relax the whole day. Like I don't want to go for a massage for 2 hours and then immediately as I step out of the massage parlor, I have to run around after my kids. So the body aches that I had, the lack of sleep, the puffiness my face had, all of this just drove my husband and I to really think about like our diets and the level of activity that I don't think we're that bad. I mean, I know of some people who are worse. That just makes me feel better. But um, I be healthier? Could I make even healthier choices in my life? Yes. Could I be a little bit more active? Definitely yes. So now that's what we're working on. I have a completely new routine that I am trying to stick to, and it was all because of this whole week that happened. I think there are a lot more details that you can go into when you want to talk about traveling with children, but for now, I'm just going to leave you with these little snippets of what had happened. Maybe we'll do a series and we'll talk about the exact things that you have to pack, especially when you're traveling with more than one child. And then your bag becomes bigger as well. So I ended up taking my weekend bag as my diaper bag to the zoo. And we can talk about all that in another video. For now, I will leave you to your midweek musings, and I will see you again, promise, this Sunday.